Good afternoon, everybody. This is Mark, and we're back here for the daily recap. It is Thursday. I'm going to try to keep it brief. I know, even though it's been a 3-day week so far, it's been a long week, and that's just the MO of this market at this point in time. Take a look at the spiders. We can just see, as I was mentioning this morning, if it, on any severe pullback, which we have not gotten yet, I am going to look to buy. This morning was a little bit of an opportunity to get involved, obviously a little cheaper. It was very, very slow, though, across the board. I mean, you got down to about 135.50, obviously closing, 136.80, 70 in that area. And it seems like we're going to be knocking on that 13,000 again. And I believe, this time around, we'll probably break through it a little bit. And you'll get into a little bit of explosion. I don't know how long it's going to last. But as I said earlier, and I've been saying, if the VIX stays below 22, below 20 to 22, I think you're free and clear and you're safe. But understand it's a slow and steady, wins the race. Right now, we're not getting these manic moves that I think a lot of people want or expect. We're getting that slow, meticulous move. To highlight a few stocks today, basically you can start off with IBM. We talked about it numerous times, and if you could see how these things and the stocks do trade, you get a big burst of energy the first hour and a half of the day, and then really it's just lots of back and forth. And the main reason for that is it just really went a long way very fast, and then it just digests the rest of the day. It looks like obviously 200 plus is in the cards. It's just a matter of how it's going to get there. And you can just see, pull up the weekly, it's really just breaking out of that area, and it looks like it's free and clear across the board. Not a whole lot of standouts. We were waiting for the Apple news and waiting for something that they possibly going to split, have a dividend. Tim Cook really said nothing of the sort. No value to that in a split. We'll have to think about the dividend. Shockingly, it's still held in there, and to me that just shows more bullish signs. But up at 515, 517, a little bit more difficult. I don't think it should, as if you're a trader, I don't think it should, garner all your attention. 510 seems to be a new area to look to buy. 520 a new area to minimum take it off, and obviously use that as the range versus watching every tick, because I think that would make you crazy. So other standouts that were mentioned in our chat, soda. Herb Greenberg obviously mentioned it. Good trade. People were talking about it, around 39, 39.50. Some of the clean energy stocks, CLNE. Little smaller cap stocks, WPRT, which did a secondary yesterday, 3 days down. I like this. I like the ideas of 3-4 days down. I put Intel and I put Ford in my swing account today because, again, I like the ideas of getting these stocks at the, obviously they're trading at the top third of their trading range. Let them pull back a little bit, 2-3 days down. It's not necessarily a stock it's not a stock that's certainly going to hurt you. It's not a stock you really have to watch every tick. It's just a stock you should, you put in, you have a level, and the level for Ford would be about 12, would be my line in the sand. And if it got to 12.10, I'd probably back up the truck a little bit more and give it another 10 cents, just because I think it's going to hang up there across the board. Intel, same type of philosophy. And you could have gone to Qualcomm today. You could have gone to a numerous number of stocks that, sort of just broke out. And it seems like, they consolidate for many a days, and then they just break out. The ag sector was pretty good today. We mentioned CF. Still hanging in there. Pretty good in the sense of it gave you a nice day trade. There wasn't a whole lot. Again, from 9:30 to 10:30, 10:45, gave you a nice, $4 move, and then it did really a whole lot of nothing. That's the MO of this tape, guys. So you just got to be prepared for it and be prepared to sit and wait for your opportunities to really build a position or really just get involved. Other standouts that, earnings on the earning front. Before I came in here, DEC came out with earnings. Looked like it was a little light. Minimum, even if it wasn't light, it's obviously down, I think, $7 after hours. So something that's probably going to be in play tomorrow. On the other retail front, Lululemon. This type of pattern is becoming more and more frequent, where it looks like it's possibly going to break down, but look, it just really held its 21-day moving average, and the next day basically closed at a new yearly high. Bullish for the stock. and you have to go back now to your weekly chart, see if there's anything to the left, and really, lots of small bars during the week for the weeklies. So at some point you might get that extension, to 70, 72. We'll see. It could be tomorrow, and have a decent weekly bar. I'm noticing that a lot more. I'm going back to my weeklies just with how this market is working and how the stocks are reacting. To me, that's of course bullish, but understanding, I keep having that skepticism in there, but at the same time, I keep getting not proven wrong, but it certainly doesn't reward you to even put a whole lot on the other side if it's for anything more than just a lease, because again, you get a few hours of short opportunities, and you get paid for a few hours, and then all of a sudden it's just long and strong, I guess, is the way to be. Financial still basing, ag still basing, oil, commodities still basing. We had a third day up in GLD and then a rest, and I think a rest is in store, at least from a daily point of view. I do think it goes to 75, gets above there. GLD, which is equivalent to almost 1800, probably goes a little higher, but at some point that's going to be, again, the emotional, psychological resistance. And SLV obviously had some continuation. This is not really, second day up, you want to call it, maybe third day, whichever one you want to say. It's over its 200-day moving average. It's right at that resistance level, 134.50. Let it rest here for a few days. Gets above there, look out. The stock could, the commodity could get to, the 36 to 38 level. In the short term, there's not a whole lot of resistance saying it cannot. Overall, right now, we're in that mix of the market where it is challenging. It is certainly hard from a day-to-day point of view. I think you got to look at longer time frames until something tells us not to. Don't get scared out of your ideas. I was saying it today on that pullback that it was creating a buying opportunity for us. And you have to take advantage of that. You gotta, you have to have your levels, and you look for opportunity. And that's why you're on the chat. That's why you're listening to us. And that's one of the factors of having, traders that are experienced and have seen this tape before and can sort of navigate accordingly. Regardless that it is tough and it is challenging, that's what we look for. So I'm not going to be here tomorrow, but I think one of the keys will be see what happens when we test the 13,000 range. In my opinion, we probably at some point break above there. I don't know with how much, being that it's a Friday, probably be a Monday gap up, in my opinion. That might be a little bit more, to the point, but we'll have to wait and see. Overall, still bullish. Looking, any sort of downtick, I still think it's an opportunity to get long, especially in the overall macro market, and even in big caps and, dividend playing stocks. Anything you're talking about right now, for the most part, it seems like, good support is holding. And first line of defense is certainly the 21-day moving average or the 10-day moving average. But for the time being, keep the trend. The trend is to the upside. Understanding it's not that easy to make money when we're up at this level after a big move, but doesn't mean just because you're not taking advantage of some of this tape, doesn't mean you flip to the other side and just, get massively short. Understanding that it's okay to be hedged, and I think it's actually, respectable, and you should be hedged a little bit being up here, but still the trend is up, and every pullback, severe or not, seems to be viable. Hopefully you guys had a good day, and I'll see you back on Monday.